The greatest comic book ever made? Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. So today I am going to talk to you about what I feel is the greatest comic book ever made. And that is The Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. So this comic was put out in 1964. And of course, I do not have the original. This is a facsimile edition, which is readily available. Now, I chose this comic book not for content, but for what is presented art-wise. First off, it's an annual, so it's probably double what a normal comic is, 72 big pages. Now, the reason that I chose this as the greatest comic ever made is #1, it's by Steve Ditko, which is the original Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, the original Spider-Man team. Now, Steve Ditko is by no means my favorite artist. In fact, I've grudgingly come to appreciate his art, but this comic book really shines. It's probably his greatest achievement. So, #1, you've got a stunning cover with Spider-Man and the Sinister Six. So we start off this comic with this amazing splash page that's giving us his personal life, his enemies, and his dual nature. Now this comic is going to have guest stars galore. There's an appearance by Thor. There's an appearance by Iron Man, Doctor Strange. We get reminded of his origin. But where this comic really shines are the 6 splash pages. Now, we won't talk about how the Sinister Six get together, but instead of attacking Spider-Man all at once, they attack him individually. Okay, we're not going to talk about that. We're not talking about content. We are looking at the gorgeous splash pages, for each villain. I think these are masterpieces. That was with Electro. And here we have an appearance by Iron Man. So you're really getting the whole Marvel Universe in this one comic. Next, we have a splash page with Kraven. Look at that gorgeous piece of art. Then we have a guest appearance by the Human Torch and the X-Men. This comic has it all. And then the splash page with the third of the Sinister Six, Mysterio. Look at that. Gorgeous art. The colors just pop on these facsimile editions. Of course, we have J. Jonah Jameson. And then here we have the Sandman. Look at that gorgeous piece of art. I just wish that the background had been a different color for this one. Here we have the Vulture. And finally, we're going to have Dr. Octopus. Now, of the entire book, this is the one that I feel is the weakest because it doesn't display Dr. Octopus in all his glory with his colors, green. So this one is underwater, but it's still a gorgeous piece of art. Now, after the story is done, they're all in prison. You get a gorgeous gallery of pinups. And what's so cool is it shows where the first appearance was. So the burglar, of course, was in Amazing Fantasy 15. That's the first appearance of Spider-Man. We got the Chameleon. So this is like a Marvel Index way before Marvel Indexes. Here we have the Chameleon from Amazing Spider-Man 1, the Vulture, and the Terrible Tinkerer, both from Amazing Spider-Man #2. Dr. Octopus and Sandman from Amazing Spider-Man 3 and 4. Look at those gorgeous... These are like pinups right here. Doctor Doom and the Lizard from Amazing Spider-Man 5 and 6. So this is a rogues gallery, but it's also a trip down memory lane. The Living Brain from Amazing Spider-Man 8. Electro, one of my favorite villains, from Amazing Spider-Man 9. The Enforcers and Mysterio, Amazing Spider-Man 10 and 13. The Green Goblin and Kraven, 14 and 15. Look at those beautiful pinup pages. Then we have the Secrets of Spider-Man. So they let you in on everything that Spider-Man can do. Look at that gorgeous piece of art there. It's a couple pages long. And then we have this great shot. Now, if anybody remembers a couple videos ago when I was talking about my vacation in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. I stopped at the Steve Ditko mural, and this art was featured there. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple images from that. Yeah, this scene. So they go through what he can do with his webbing, his gadgets, his mask, and then you get this great pinup, and Spider-Man even signed it for us. I don't have to wait in line at a comic convention. We get a splash page with behind the scenes, then, you know, his work, at his college. Of course, he's off to the side, and these are all the bit players. This is a strange one, his house. These are some guest stars, so we got the Fantastic Four and the Hulk. And then we have a behind the scenes at the office where Spider-Man is created. Now, for me, art-wise, I think that this is just a gorgeous comic to look at from beginning to end. The splash pages featuring every villain from the Sinister Six. They get their own page. All the artwork at the end of the book, they're basically all splash pages and pinups. This is, in my opinion, the greatest comic book ever made. Now, do you agree? If you have another candidate, would you please put it in the comments, or why don't you go ahead and make your own video? But again, The Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1 from 1964 is the greatest comic book ever made. I want to thank you for the support.